Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. Folks, welcome. Appreciate y'all. It's been a minute. It feels like it's been a minute. I had to take a little break last week. Actually, I didn't have a choice, to be honest with you. A little bit of wind and snow, some freezing temps up here in Nova Scotia. Had the power knocked out. Had no choice. So almost a blessing in disguise because your brother needed that rest. So, folks, we are back at it again, but this time with a fun episode. This time with a fun episode that I believe that a lot of you guys will have an ability to chime in. I mean, you guys are always great in the chat. You guys are always dope. And it gives us a chance to kind of, you know what I mean, get off some things off our chest and really evaluate this team based on the letter grade. You guys already know it's the easiest way to grade and kind of give an idea of what people really thought of this season. And although the season obviously didn't end the way we wanted it to, clearly we know that. But we've got some evaluations. For me, a lot of people are off. They're done with the season. I'm not talking about it. The season's over with, and I'm with you. But I got to wrap it up. This is the way I wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? I got to do my awards. We got to do, you know what I'm saying, some grades and really evaluate every position group and how you feel in grade form, how they performed. And as I was going through it, and I feel my man Mark says, yo, this is going to be a long off season. every off season is long. Every offseason, whether it's one that is going to be really exciting for us because we're going to be big players in free agency, it's still long. But we all know at the end of the day, whatever Bean says, you got to take it with a grain of salt. We ain't going to be big players in free agency. Same thing he said last year. And we went out and signed Von Miller to like 120 mil. So obviously they moved some things around and whatever, but you can never really trust Brandon Bean in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Because things happen. Things change quickly and decisions are made and boom, Bob's your uncle. We've got money. And you know what I'm saying? We all know that the salary cap is cap. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they say that we don't, and all of a sudden things change and we're big players in free agency. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is this. We've got some grades to give out. Every position group from quarterback all the way down to special teams. And then we get into the award ceremony. And the award ceremony, I could have went with the regular who's our rookie of the year, the questions are in there, don't get me wrong. But then I had some interesting ones that I put out there. And I put it out on Twitter, some of the ones that I'd be putting out there. And I'm waiting for some interesting ones that people that want to chime in. And I put a couple down that I thought would be very interesting. And one of the two awards that I'll be giving out today will be the Mixed Feelings Award, right? There's a player on this team that you just have mixed feelings. You feel good about this player, but then you're like, ugh, but I also don't feel great, right? And I have a candidate for that award. The other award that I put in there is the Houdini Award. You know, the player that disappears. I'm here and I'm present and I'm gone for like 2 or 3 games. And gone, poof, like Houdini. You out of here. So I'm gonna need some of your help. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun episode. We're gonna get right to it. But around the way, around the league, Super Bowl's around the corner, a couple days from now. Um, as a Bills fan, do you care? As a Bills fan, do you care who wins? Do you want the AFC? Are you the type of AFC versus NFC? We got to keep it together and bring it back to the AFC. Do you care for that type of stuff, or are you more like we can't have Pat Mahomes with another one? Are you petty like me? Because I'm petty. I don't want to. I don't want. I mean, as here's the thing. As I'm invested in ways where, as an African American, you know, what I mean, for you Americans out there, you guys, you know, what I'm saying, identify, you know, some folks that have as African American. Over here, we don't say African Canadian. We have so many damn. So many damn nationalities over here. You're Haitian, you're Jamaican, you're Somalian, you're whatever. Anyway, so African American, as an African American quarterback to win it, that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? To you know what I mean, put a little more respect on that, on the black quarterback, because over time they were never smart enough. They were never this and they were that. Well, let's just change them to a receiver. Let's change them to a running back. Now we're starting to see a lot of these black quarterbacks really do work, throw the football, do all of that stuff. That's part of what I kind of like. And you have two of them, and we have Jalen Hurts and my man Pat Mahomes are going to be in there. But then the petty side of me is like, I don't want Pat Mahomes to win another one, because now you got Josh Allen's got to catch up. He's got to catch up. You know what I'm saying? And now he's going to be down two. And then you got Joe Burrow that's going to be trying to get in the mix. You got Herbert that's going to be trying to get in the mix. So like, it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's the petty side of me. It is what it is. But if I were to choose who I want to win, Philly just won. Was it 5 years ago they just won? And you kind of want Jalen Hurts to get his, because like, transfers out of Alabama, does really good things at Oklahoma, comes into the league, second round draft pick, I believe. And dude, he's got his team in the Super Bowl. And a lot of it was because of how he's you know, he got that team playing well. Simple as that. But you got to give it to the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill. A lot of people thought that these guys were going to be, yeah, you're not going to be the same. Juju Smith-Schuster is not a good replacement, this, that, and the third. And then guess what? They're right back at it. Right back at it. So you got to give them credit. Great coaching. Don't get me wrong. Coaching has everything to do with it. Coaching is huge. Y'all catch what I'm saying with it. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the show. And I have this. Let me just give out the first award. I want to give out the first award. And no, we're not going to go into the award. We're going to give grades. We're going to go into the grades, the grading. And let me open my notes here. And we're going to go right to the grades. And overall, I think we had a solid year. We finished the year 13-3. Obviously, there's a lot of things that took place this year that kind of slowed the Bills down. One of them being the injury to Josh Allen. Didn't really, you know what I mean? Some people will say he wasn't quite the same after the injury. So this offseason is going to be great for him to kind of get back to it. No surgery needed. So it's just about rest, rehab, all that good stuff, right? And I guess the best way to put it is without Josh Allen, I mean, we're not the team that we would like us to be, right? The weight of the success of this team is all on Josh Allen's shoulders. At least that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. So that's the one thing that I took out of this, right? So, but we have to grade each position group, and I'm going to start with the quarterback position. And Josh Allen was excellent. Josh Allen was excellent last year. He was in the MVP talks last year. He was in the MVP talks this year. And he's going to continue to be in MVP conversations for years to come, because he's that dude. He's that good, right? Now, how do you grade Josh Allen's performance this year? And before I give you my grade, I would love for you guys to give me your grades, right? I've got Kim Betts comes in. She says, you know what? A- for Josh. I'm going to give him A-. And Kim, that's not a bad assessment at all. I've got Richard Ford says the team at the end clearly was not the team that started the season, 100%. But not any team is the same as they start the season, right? Because I mean, except for maybe the Eagles were the most somewhat consistent team, but no team is the same, right? You start off hot, you start off cold. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions were just, and not they were terrible, but they were not the same team what they started and how they ended. But grades for Josh Allen. I see Jason N says B minus, a B coming from Bills Mafia. My man Namdi says a B plus. Lex gives him a B plus, B minus. So I see a lot of B's. B's. Terrence comes with an A minus. Well, here's the deal, right? Tiana, I see you, Tiana. Tiana C comes in with a B plus. That's my daughter's middle name. I chose that name. I love that name, by the way. Lovely name. Lee Richardson. What's up, Lee? Lee comes in and says B plus. What's up, Lee? So here's the deal. The way I graded this was I gave Allen A minus. Allen was an A minus, right? And what I think is it sucks. We fell short of the playoffs. We fell short in the playoffs. We won our first playoff game, struggle. And then we go up against obviously a tough team in the Bengals, and we fell short. And it's unfortunate because that's one of those situations where that was our worst performance. And we know that. I'm not gonna hash over it. But to me, Josh Allen was as good as he was last year, right? Did he have a few more interceptions? It's not that he had a few more. He had about the same ish, but like they were just at costly moments that kind of cost us games. Right, the Jets game was a bad one, and obviously the Dolphins game. We already know with the Dolphins game, and then we lost the Vikings game, and then it wasn't looking great for that Bengals game in the regular season. But nonetheless, there were some games where he threw some interceptions. You're like, man, it's cutting us close. But for the most part, everything was on Josh Allen's shoulders. A minus is deserving of it. Ran the football extremely well, 760 yards plus rushing, over 5 touchdowns. He's the first player in 5 years that's accumulated rushing. Like I wouldn't say rushing titles, but rushing for 700 plus. Was it like 4,000 yards rushing? He's got. I'm not even sure the exact number, but if he's the first player in 5 years that was able to accomplish passing and rushing, and these rushing feats that nobody's done. He's one of one. So you can't. How could you not grade him an A minus? To me, that's an A minus. He carried this team. You need something, he gets it. Period. You need something, he gets it. You need that first down, and it's 1st and 10 or 4th and 10. Most likely, he's getting that. You know what I'm saying? So, like to me, there's no other way around it. That dude he's him. He's that dude. To me, A minus for Josh Allen. And he's always gonna grade around that unless he has a catastrophic, terrible freaking season, which probably won't happen because he's just too damn good. He's of elite status. So to me, A minus for my guy, Josh Allen, right? So I can't say anything around that. It's just that it sucks the way it ended because we had such big aspirations for this team, for Josh Allen, and we fell short. We definitely fell short. So for me, it's the A minus for my guy Josh. All right. Do we have to get him help? Absolutely. Do we need to take pressure off of him? Absolutely. Pretty cool. I think did I post it? I hope I did post it because I'll be really annoyed if I didn't post it. ESPN had they did a redraft in ESPN, and they looked at what could have been with if we redrafted and who we could who we would have taken. And the one thing that was pretty cool is that they took a running back in the second round, but it certainly was not James Cook, right? And the way they were looking at it is the perfect fit would have been Breece Hall, but the way that worked out, Breece Hall ended up going to the Giants early because of a trade up, and they took Breece Hall. So the Bills ended up taking Dameon Pierce in the second round. So that was going to be the switch up instead of taking James Cook, and James Cook went later. I forgot where James Cook went, but he went later, much later than Dameon Pierce. But anyway, so Dameon Pierce was the running back chosen in the second round. Guess who we chose in the first round? Guess who we chose in the first round? And I found that quite interesting who we took. But anyway, so 57th pick, Dameon Pierce was the pick. First round, we would have taken, Kyle Hamilton, the safety, the big safety out of Notre Dame, I believe. So that would have been interesting. If Kyle Hamilton fell to us, that would have been the pick. Here's the thing though. Where did Kyer Elam go? Kyer Elam went to the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas Cowboys would have taken, I mean, this is based off of I don't know who did this article, but anyways, I think I'm sure a mixture of people. But anyway, Kyler Elam went into Dallas Cowboys saying the length and strength that they needed from this guy. He's the prototypical kind of quarterback that Dallas would have liked to pair him with Trayvon Diggs. Wouldn't that have been something? Anyway, I digress. Kyle Hamilton would have been the pick for the Bills. That would have been very interesting. But here we go. So we're going to continue with our grading system here. So Josh Allen, A minus. Let's go to the running backs. Running backs. Here's the deal, man. We started the year with 17 running backs, and then we dwindled it down to the final two that should have been the final two to begin with. But we had Zach Moss in the mix. You had Duke Johnson in the mix. James Cook was rarely getting touches. And obviously, we had Devin Singletary. To me, there's potential in this running back group. There was potential all year. The intrigue of having a pass catching back in James Cook would have been great if he was utilized early and if he's utilized the way he's intended to be used, right? Get him out and split him out, get him running some routes, get him out in space. But we A, didn't play him enough, and B, we only started to really trust him and get him utilized late in the season. And then we really started to see, okay, this guy could really, you know what I'm saying, do some damage. But a little too late. Devin Singletary, consistent. Ever since that offseason that he put in that work, he's been consistent running between the tackles. And you can count on him. He's reliable. He's one of those guys that he's reliable, but just not enough touches. Not enough touches. And I think he's gonna do well. I don't know if we bring him back. I doubt the Bills bring him back, especially with the addition of Nyheim Hines. But to me, as a group and how we utilize these guys and what they did, I gave them a C plus. I gave them a C plus. And that plus part is just that I know they could have done more if given the opportunity. Are they B minus type backs, A plus type backs? In my opinion, no. But there's definitely some potential. Going forward, if Devin Singletary doesn't come back, it's gonna be Hines and Cook show. Two similar type of backs catching back out of the backfield, speed, but like there's no difference between the two. And that to me is, I wouldn't call it problematic, but that you're going to have to address the running back room. I don't know if you draft one. I think this is going to be a undrafted free agent banger that you know what I mean, that can get between the tackles and go from there. But we'll see. But to me, there's a lot of potential in this room. That Hines Cook combo, if used properly, and could be problematic for some teams, right? That's a lot of speed in that backfield, right? Look at Clyde's Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco, right? They don't have a banger out there. So it's those two guys. But Pacheco runs like he's a banger. You know what I'm saying? That boy 4.3 speed, but he runs like he's a big boy. So we don't have that in Hines and Cook. But if utilized properly, we could do some good damage, right? It's just that those guys are these two running backs are complementary backs, right? They're complementary. You need someone that offsets what they do, but you have two similar backs. So to me, they're going to need a banger. They're going to need a guy that can go between the tackles. I'm not saying that these two boys can't. It's just that that's not their forte. That's not their forte. Obviously, we have Reggie Gilliam as fullback, but very sparingly they got in the football. Very sparingly. So I'm looking for the Bills to, you know what I mean, add a piece in that running back room, a banger. I mean, we clearly don't give a damn to have a bell cow back. We don't. It was very clear. It hasn't been like that for a long time. The last time we had a bell cow back was freaking Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy was the last time. You know what I'm saying? So like right now it's going to be a committee, a running back by committee. So they're going to look for someone to, you know what I mean, complement these speed backs. So C plus is what I give the running back room. I'm gonna go there. What are you guys giving up? See, what's the grade that you give the running back room in a whole, and looking forward to what they're going to do next year? What do we have in terms of how you guys feel about that? Is the C appropriate? C plus appropriate? Are you guys feeling, well, they're a little better than that? Rico, so you stop tripping. Let's give him an A plus. I'm clearly exaggerating, and I think we both know that that's not going to happen. But to me, I think C plus is the appropriate grade for that running back room. That plus being for the potential. I see some potential in this group. But that's the way I look at it, right? So running back grade is a C, and I see that the grades are starting to come in right now. So I see a C for my man Sean. Um, Scott Blakely comes in and says, "You know what? I'm going to give him a C plus." Okay, we were on the same page here. Michelle Holloman, what's up, Michelle? Michelle comes in and says, "I'm going to give him a B minus, a B minus." Okay, Richard Forbes, B minus. I got you. I think I saw an A. Billy Williams said A. No, you tripping, Billy. Billy tripping. Anyway, so Ray Collins with a B plus. I like that. I'm good with that. Terrence Blanton says, "Yo, C, but what happened to the new O-line coach, Aaron Cromer?" You're referring to Aaron Cromer. I'll get into the O line because that's coming up in a little bit. So let's go to the tight end room. The tight end room consisted of sprinkling of Tommy Sweeney. We had Quentin Morris had some big moments in some games, and I'm a big fan of Quentin Morris. I think he's going to do some big things. And obviously, we have Dawson Knox, our main guy, making some big money. So here's the deal. Dawson Knox to me is a great piece to this team. He blocks well. He's a red zone threat. He's a mismatch. He's a pure mismatch. He's a pure athlete. The guy is solid, right? I need that game of his in the red zone and to consistently throughout the game be present, right? And if we aren't going to address the receiver room and truly get a consistent number 2 receiver where Josh can depend on that person. I'm not saying that Gabe Davis is not, but Gabe Davis is giving us questions. He's making us look at the receiver room, right? Had he had a year where we could seriously say, you know what, we're good, like last year, man, we don't even need to grab a receiver. We're good with Gabe Davis. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But he's making us have questions. He makes us have questions. So to me, you got to address the running back room. Now, the receiver room. Now, before I even get into the addressing of the receiver room, we're talking about tight end. So if we can't get that receiver to, and we choose not to, and we want to trust the guys that we have on our squad, and it was more so of Josh didn't have enough time to deliver this, that, and the third, whatever you guys want to call it, then this is where Dawson Knox needs to take a giant leap. And that giant leap that Dawson Knox needs to take is in the role of you becoming that second target. Forget about being the third fiddle, fourth fiddle. You've got to be a strong number 2 target. Because if you're not going to be, then we've got to address that receiver room hard. If not, then you've got to step your game up. And not that I like Dawson Knox. I love Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox did go through some things this offseason. Obviously, losing his brother is tough. You don't know how people deal, and brave on him to, you know what I mean, continue and play and be with his team and so on and so forth. But you don't know how that plays, right? So maybe a great offseason with time with family, friends, and more with himself to kind of, you know what I mean, okay, my brother's past is in a better place, so on and so forth. Maybe he's a regenerated player for next year. Well, that regeneration we will need, because if we don't address that receiver spot, you got to step in. You got to be that Travis Kelce type of back, tight end. You've got to be that Goddard type of tight end. You got to be the Schultz-ish type of guy. I mean, I bring up Schultz because I like Schultz a lot, the Dallas Cowboys tight end. But you've got to be that guy that steps up, and you got to be the number 2 target. If we can't get the number 2 receiver, you've got to be the number 2 target. You got to be the guy that Josh Allen can't see Diggs. I'm going to you. They've got to, you know what I'm saying? You've got to, I guess you've got to, I don't want to say step up, because I don't want to use the step up, because he's a very good tight end, right? But he's got to be more present and be that guy. You got to take that leap to be that number 2 if we're not going to address that. So to me, that room, that tight end room with Quentin Morris, I see a lot of potential in that room. I really do. Quentin Morris, I really like. So it's a C plus for me. I was going to go B, but it's not there for me. So C plus for me. Great in the red zone, great blocker. Listen, that's your role, man. If we're going to pay you that type of money, You got to be that. You got to be more present for your quarterback. And I look forward to it. Diggs, Knox. If it's got to be, then so be it. And then everybody's got to step their game up. But to me, C plus for the tight end room. How do you guys feel about that tight end room? Tight end room. What are we grading that tight end room? And as you guys send me your grades, I got to read a super chat from my guy Silas. Was on Cy. Cy comes in and says, "You know what? I'm giving the entire offense, except for the O line, an incomplete because Dorsey gets an F." Oh my gosh, this guy went to the F. You dropping the F bomb, right? F is for fire immediately. Damn, Silas. Sheesh. Well, that means you're gonna like one of the awards that that I have set aside for my friends that have the headsets on. But how do you guys feel about what Silas says? Fire immediately for Dorsey. Um, you guys already know how I feel about it. I'm not in that room to fire Dorsey after 1 year, having a 13-3 record, having one of the best offenses in the game. Yeah, but you had Josh Allen. Absolutely, you had Josh Allen. You did have Josh Allen. We know. We're aware. Josh Allen is a specimen. But how do you justify firing someone that went 13-3 and had a top offense, right? And kept them there? I mean, I understand if the offense regressed because Dable left and it just wasn't cutting it, and he's changed everything and so on and so forth. I just can't. I don't roll with it. I really don't. After 1 year and he had success, I don't roll with it. I can't do it. But I respect that people feel like, you know, I mean, I'm not feeling that. I've seen enough of Dorsey that he's got to go. I'm just not in that boat. Y'all can paddle that boat on your own. I'll jump out with my life raft and chill out. Even though my black ass is not a strong swimmer, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to keep afloat, because I can't see them let him go of Dorsey. He's gonna stick it out and he's gonna improve. He has to. He has no choice. Right after next year, then you can start making a decision to say, hey, we gave you 2 shots, and right now we haven't seen any changes. Right, and Josh Allen is still young enough, still in his prime young. I mean, he's about to jump into his very prime. So we're not wasting Josh Allen like people want to say, because a lot of people want to say we're wasting him. We're not. He's still doing numbers. He's still doing what he's got to do. It's about getting over the hump. It's not like we're not getting him to the playoffs, right? Like they wasted. I'll tell you this much: the Colts wasted their boy Andrew Luck. They didn't give him no help. They didn't give him old line help. They waste that man. They let that brother get beat up. They didn't help him, right? We're not in that realm. We help this man, we bring him forward. It's just that we're just not able to get over the hump. We got to get over the hump, right? So I'm still up for giving him another shot. So back to it. Back to it. Tight end room, C plus. That's the way I look at it. O line. Let's go to the O line room. Now, as we go into this O line room, I gotta bring up I don't know if it was a tweet that I saw, it was an article that I saw. I'm not too sure exactly what it was, but something was written where they asked one of the linemen on the squad. I think was it Mitch Morse? It was Roger Saffold. Was it Roger Saffold? I can't remember who it was. Anyway, the point is, one of them ended up mentioning that the changes on the O line. There were a lot of change. I think it was Ryan Bates actually. Now I come think about it. The Ryan Bates mentioned it. There were a lot of changes on the O line, like schematic wise. So, and some people couldn't, cut it. Roger Saffold was the person that did it. I know it was Roger Saffold because somebody brought Roger Saffold up in the tweet, and he replied and said, "Well, you got to understand there was a lot of changes and there was a lot of schematic changes, and some guys I guess couldn't. I don't know. They just were gelling well enough with this new scheme with Aaron Cromer coming back. So obviously, whether you want to blame it on personnel, they just weren't good enough, or they didn't match up with the new scheme that we have, or Cromer didn't adjust enough to work with what he's got on this team. So either or, not a good combination. Not a good combination. I think we as fans, when we heard Aaron Cromer coming back, we expected a whole lot, because the last time Aaron Cromer was associated with the Bills, we had LaShawn McCoy, and we had a team that 2 years in a row had a top rushing offense, a top rushing offense. So we're like, Aaron Cromer coming back, he's going to instill a run dominant, you know what I'm saying, scheme that's going to help us out and we're going to take the pressure off Josh and we're going to be great. No, we weren't. Offense was not the offensive line was a question mark in the offseason. It was the question was always like, what is our weakest um position group? And the weakest position group, in my opinion, was always the old line. We just never really improved that old line. We added an aging Roger Saffold. I think it was like 34 years old, and we added Questenberry. And we brought back Spencer Brown. We moved Ryan Bates over. So like we didn't really like improve. We just kind of moved things around a little bit. We added one piece, and that Roger Saffold piece looked good on paper. He's a Pro Bowler, whether that matters or not. But he did not. Let's just put it this way: he did not end the season well. He did not end the season well. There are many times where I was like, "Who the f? Golly, geez, was that Roger Saffold? I thought he was supposed to be." And here we are. Here we are. And chances are he ain't coming back. So we got to reshuffle that old line. So to me, this old line was not great. Now, before I give you my grade, what grade did you guys give this team? Now, as we talk about the old line grade, there was a PFF. They gave the PFF grade for all the linemen on our team, and our best lineman on the squad, I believe, was Dion Dawkins, and he graded something in the nature of the high 60s, mid 60s, high 60s. The rest of the guys in the 50s, low 50s, 40s, like, and to me, some people are like, "Man, PFF is garbage. Don't look at PFF." I do. I don't care what people tell me. I look at PFF because obviously there's guys that go and look at the analytics and look at the film every day. So I'll trust what they see, right? And if they say that these guys were poorly graded, chances are they were poorly graded. So to me, this O line this year didn't help the run game. It didn't help in the pass game because there was moments that Josh was running for his damn life, and it was very apparent come playoff time, right? Very apparent come playoff time. So whether it was Aaron Cromer to blame or just the personnel, Bean to blame because Bean's the one who brought in this personnel. So he takes part in this whole situation. So to me, this whole group, C minus. C minus across the board. Do we have good individual play from Dion Dawkins? Yes. Mitch Morse? Yes. Ryan Bates was par, but Spencer Brown on the right side and Roger Saffold, problematic, man. They just weren't holding up for our guy Josh. So to me, it's a C minus for me. I can't give him a D. I can't give them a D because they were still able to hold up and give Josh over 4,000 yards, 760 yards rushing. You know what I mean? They still held him up, but there were some times where Josh was like, "Oof, I got to get out of here because these guys ain't holding. I can't trust the left side. I can't trust the right side." I'm like, I'm jittery. There were moments that he was jittery. So to me, I'm being nice when I say this. C minus. C minus is the grade that they get. And if you guys disagree, let me know. I see some people saying, "Dude, they were worse than that." You gotta give them worse. I can't do that. I can't give them worse than that. I think C minus is appropriate for this team and for the O line and how they played, especially near the end of the season. It just didn't get better. You know what I'm saying? This is where you're supposed to ramp up, right? Playoffs are coming. You're supposed to, you know what I mean, get cohesive and really do it. And we just weren't there. We just could not recover. And I keep hearing, I'll use the word excuse because that's the only one that's coming up to me right now. But I keep hearing the excuse of, but the Bills went through so much. They went through so much. What so much did they go through? Well, the DeMar Hamlin situation. Okay, they were effective. They were affected. They were affected by it very much so. Affected by it very much so. Don't get me wrong. But you're a ball player. You know these people get injured now. Not like that. That is something that we all didn't expect. But it affected the whole league. The whole league was affected. Obviously, these guys are affected because that's their brother in your locker room. But in the storm happens, bitch. The storm happens every year. There's always some kind of storm. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to hear all that. Oh, the storm. We had to go play at Detroit and this and that. That's what you get for playing in Buffalo. You're gonna go through it. Be prepared to lose a home game potentially because we are going to not have a game there because it's gonna be some kind of storm. I just can't say, oh, we've been through so much, man. Knock it off, man. The top's shooting. I get that part. But listen, fam, things things happen every day, B. You know what I'm saying? But when you're on that field, tunnel vision, let's go. So I'm not buying those excuses. I'm just saying. I'm not one of those that buy that stuff. But nonetheless, the grade is a grade. C minus for the O line. You know what I'm saying? I ain't moving off of that. C minus, O line's got to be better. They got to be better. All right. Let's flip over. Let's flip over to the receiver room. Right. And last but not least, the receiver room to me. What do you grade the receiver room? I'd like to know what people feel about that. Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley coming at the end, John Brown being there. Obviously Gabe Davis on the squad. We chose to move off of Isaiah Hodgins and let him go to keep Kumaro, and Kumaro never touched the damn field afterwards. So very interesting in itself. We had an injury to Crowder. Isaiah McKenzie stepped his game up this year. He took a bigger role. Did you guys feel he's good in his new role? I'd love to know how you guys feel about the receiver room. What are you grading the receiver room? Obviously, Stephon Diggs is elite. He's one of the best in the game. The pure hands, beautiful hands catcher. I mean, one of the best football players of catching that football. Soft hands. I mean, I always loved Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins had great hands. And Stephon Diggs is absolutely up there. So, what grade are we giving to the receiver room? How are you guys feeling about that? So I'm looking at what we see here. We got Tebow. My man Tebow comes in. It's a C plus for the receiver room. That's only because we have Diggs. Come on, fellas, really? Abby comes in with a B minus. I mean, that's more my speed. That's more my speed. B minus only because of Diggs. Scott Blakely says A minus Diggs. A minus for Diggs. C minus for the balance. Golly, you guys are rough against this receiver room. We've got a B. We've got B minus with Diggs, C without, C minus without. Gee. Okay, so here's the deal. The way I look at it, Michelle Holman says, "Hey, C. I say C because Shakir, when given the chance, stepped up. Diggs was Diggs. That's it. Solid C. All right, I'm not gonna go and give him a C. You can't give him a C. You have a receiver that's the third year in a row that's going over 100 receptions, 1,000 yards. You got Gabe Davis. I had 800 yards this year. I believe it was 800. So he improved. We had McKenzie had a bigger role this year. He played better. He was actually a big piece at the beginning of the year for us. I think he did really well. Khalil Shakir, when he got in the game, did some really good things. So there's a lot of good things about this receiver room. Now, there are some faults because when teams take away, and which they will, take away Diggs, somebody's got to step up. And we didn't necessarily have that next person to really step their game up. Davis is definitely he's not. I'm not saying he's not that guy. I don't want to say he's not that guy, but he did have some struggles of taking over, of being that guy. He wasn't there. So to me, overall grade for this receiver room, I got to give them a B. It's a B receiver room. Obviously, a big part in Diggs. How could you grade the group? You know what I'm saying? A terrible grade when you have one of the best in the game in Stephon Diggs. So to me, it's a B for that room. Stephon Diggs masks a lot of our deficiencies, but that's what number one receivers do, right? When you look at Devontae Adams on the Raiders, if not for Devontae, who else did they have over there? Don't tell me Mac Hollins, because ain't nobody looking at Mac Hollins. And me saying Mac Hollins has you like, oh yeah, I forgot he was on that team. So Hunter Renfrew, nice in the slot, but he was hurt for the most of the year, right? So was tight end. I know because I had him on my fantasy. So it was really Devontae Adams, and so how do you give that receiver room a terrible grade? Devontae elevates that game, right? So to me, B is the grade for the receiver room on this offensive side of the ball. If you guys disagree, let me know. But my man Joey says, "Yo, B, LOL. Okay, Sean McDermott, stop giving everybody the answer they want to hear and give us a real story." I'm not. I'm giving you guys the goods. I'm not. I just explained to you why I cannot give them that. You have Diggs. You can't. You're gonna. There's no other way for me to explain it. He said I'm giving a Sean McDermott answer. I will never give you guys a Sean McDermott answer. That ain't me. That ain't me. But anyway, that's a B for me for the receiving room. And let's move on to the defense. Let's move on to the defense, folks. And we're going to start with the D line. To me, I'll get right to it, man. The D line did some really good things this year. We really saw um, Greg Rousseau step his game up. We saw some good things from Boogie Basham, but we also saw some regression from some players like Ed Oliver. I didn't really see enough from Ed Oliver. Um, DaQuan Jones was excellent. I love DaQuan Jones. Tim Settle started off great, and that in silence of my man Tim Settle near the end of the year. So and Phillips on the injured report a lot this year, but I mean you're gonna see that. But to me, it was a mixed bag. But to me, I looked at this D line, and with Von Miller, obviously, before Von Miller getting hurt, this D line was humming, man. It was a D line. That's the grade for the D line when Von Miller was in, the Quan, all that stuff. But when Von Miller got hurt, things changed. So to me, I dropped that to a B minus. This D line, and I'm B minus. I'm being nice. I was sitting between C plus. I think I'm going to change my grade. I'm going to go to C plus. This defensive front is a C plus, and I hovered between the two because defensively stopping the run, we were really good this year. We really improved stopping the run this year. Shaq Lawson setting the edge and doing his thing and really getting a role on this team. I think we did a really good job. But then getting after the quarterback was where we struggled. And we put a lot of money into this damn team and high draft capital into this team to not get after the quarterback, right? Epinesa, our first pick, right? Back in 2019 or 2020? He was our first pick. We had to give up that pick for obviously Stephon Diggs. So he was our first pick. AJ Epinesa was supposed to be that guy. No, hasn't been. Has not been. We go back to back, Greg Rousseau and Boogie Basham, right? To take over for the aging Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison. And it's too soon to really say, but I mean, I need more. So we didn't get after the quarterback enough for us to affect teams, for us to stay in it, right? And unfortunately, the last game we played against the Bengals, there was no pressure whatsoever. Joe Burrow he did whatever the heck he wanted to this defense. There was absolutely no pressure, none whatsoever. And we prided ourselves. We prided ourselves on getting after the quarterback without blitzing. And that was the Von Miller effect. I don't have to blitz. I have a closer in Von Miller. I have a guy that's twitchy, that's fast around the edges. He can get after you. But here we are without Von Miller and no pass rush. That's not going to cut it. So that's why I gave the defensive line. It was a B minus is what I had, but I can go C plus. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. And with Von Miller on the squad, this is a very good team. This is an A defensive front because it changes everything. But without him, you drop a couple grades. So to me, I'm gonna stick with C plus. C plus for the defensive line. I mean, it changed. You guys saw what it was, man. When Von left, it was a different ball game, right? It was a different ball game. Did we keep winning games? Absolutely, because we're a very good team. But at the end of the day, we didn't cut it when it mattered most, and that's near the end of the season, right? So Ed Oliver, I expected way more from Ed Oliver coming into his fourth year. Like, dude, you're playing in your 3-tech position. We brought in the big dogs and DaQuan Jones and Tim Settle to eat up the blocks. This is where you're supposed to just get after it. Nope, did not. So here we are. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not going to change my stance on it. It's a C plus. I'm going to keep it at a C plus. All right. Linebacker, right off the bat, B plus for me. You guys may disagree, and I want your grades on this. How do you guys feel about the linebacker group? B plus for the linebacker group. Big reason this defense maintained their top tier status and in this game was the big emergence of Matt Milano. But we've been seeing Matt Milano step his game up since last year, right? A healthy Matt Milano is a damn good Matt Milano. And when Matt Milano said this year, I want to dominate, I want to freaking take over, he meant it, and he earned it with an all-pro. And that group was excellent. To me, is a B plus. You know what I mean? Edmonds had a solid year himself. He played better than he has in a long time. I think this year was one of his better seasons. Although he didn't reach up to 100 tackles, he was just shy of 100 tackles, but he was good, man. He was solid. He had some big big games this year that helped us out. So to me, one of the best position groups on this team was a linebacking crew of both guys in Edmonds and Matt Milano. And how does coach not bring these boys back together? How do you not bring these boys back together, man? To me, they were excellent together. That tandem was one of the better tandems in the game. Almost reminded me, not quite, but almost reminded me of Thomas Davison and Luke Kuechly, right? Those were the two boys that held it down for the Panthers with McDermott and Ron Rivera. So do we have Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis? No, but close enough. So what is coach going to do? Is he going to bring those boys back, or is he going to let Edmonds walk? That is the big question this offseason. What do we do with Tremaine Edmonds? So to me, that's the grade I'm giving you guys. What do you got? How are you guys feeling about the grade for the linebacking crew? Are we so my man Namdi says, you know what? It's a B plus A minus. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Is to me, I put them down as a B plus. A could have definitely went up to A minus, but I think B plus was apropos to how they are and how they performed, especially with what was going on back there with not having Micah Hyde, not having Trey White on the other side. So there was a lot of responsibility on those two guys, right? Especially playing nickel defense. So, like, yeah, you got to give it to them, man. Those two boys had to take on blocks, had to do all that good stuff, man. So, really good job. Those two boys deserve that. That's the grade that I'm giving the linebacking crew. Kudos to them. Kudos to them, man. They really held it down. They really embraced, you know what I'm saying, Frazier's defense and said, we're going to take it upon ourselves. We're so familiar with each other, number one, and we're familiar with his team. Dude, we got to rock it. We got to rock it. So, linebacking crew, give him that B plus. I'm giving that B plus with linebacker crew. I think a lot of people agree with me. We got B plus from my man Jason. My man Scott Blakely says it's an A. Kerry Cook, I see you, Kerry. Kerry comes with a B minus. My man P Money says, yo, smash that like for Rico. You know what? Do me that favor. Smash that like and let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. One more time for your mind. So let's keep it rolling, folks. So here's the deal, folks. Linebacking crew, we're good. Let's go to the defensive backfield, and that includes safety. So before I give you my grade, what are you grading the defensive backfield, right? Kyer Elam, Christian Benford, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, you know what I'm saying, is back there. Obviously got hurt. Trey White, Cam Lewis. I'm naming all the cats that, you know what I mean, contributed. Saron Neal. If I'm missing people, you guys already know what it is. I mean, I pretty much named everybody that we Teron Johnson. So we got some squats. So I'm curious to see where we got. My man Namdi says, yo, A plus for Rico. I appreciate that, my G. Salute to you, man. Salute to my guy Namdi. Namdi been representing for a long time. I appreciate you, my guy. So defensive backfield. A plus for the defensive backfield. Really? You go from A plus to D plus. Interesting. A minus, C. Ronald Rigler. What's up, Ronnie? Ronnie comes in with a C. Jason M with a B. The DB's difficulty year. They had a difficult year. They had a rough year. Kim comes in with a B minus. Okay, Kim. C plus for the DBs from Ryan Gross. Scott Blakely. Kerry Cook comes in with a D plus. Poyer A, balance the C. No. We're not going to do this. We're not going to individually grade. We're going to grade them as a team all together. All right. I kind of got it. It's interesting because you guys went from A to D plus to everything in the middle. I look at it completely different. I give the DBs a C this year because normally the DBs for us is what keeps us in the game. They are our strong suit. They've always been one of the strongest parts of our game. Now, obviously, injuries, we were riddled with injuries at key players, right? Poyer was injured, right? Came back and was a juggernaut this year, and he played through a lot of stuff. Trey White obviously tore his ACL, came back middle of the season. Was he back to himself? No. We had the Dane Jackson got a horrific injury where it looked terrible. You know what I'm saying? It looked awful. And where it looked like he just, like Tremaine Edmonds just right into him and his neck went all the way back. I was like, oh snap, right? Came back like a week later. We were riddled with injuries in that defensive backfield. That's why I can't say you had an an A grade. B, to me, that's a C, because there were days where we were somewhat healthy and we still couldn't cut it. We were still getting beat. We were still alive. Like, these guys were a liability. We had to start sending blitzes. Obviously, injuries did that because Von Miller went hurt. So now, instead of just going with 4, we now have to blitz Tehran or blitz a linebacker. So now you're gonna be left in cover 1 or 0 or whatever the case is. So liability. But if I break it down a little further, looking at Trey White hasn't been the same. Dane Jackson refuses to turn his head around and has moments where you're like, come on, man, we got to be better, right? Jordan Poyer hurt. Damar Hamlin, Jaquan Johnson. The theme of this defensive backfield is injuries. So, like, it's like an asterisk next to it. But when you look at the overall production of when these guys were playing and actually what they did, to me, it's a C, maybe C plus. But I'm confident and I feel good about giving them a C grade at the DB position. We had some good moments. Don't get me wrong. We had some good moments, but we had guys like Jefferson just absolutely destroy us, right? Jefferson just he ate us up. He just did what the heck he wanted. Kirk Cousins was slinging that thing. It's just what it was, right? Jamar Chase did what the hell he wanted. Like, we can't have these receivers do what the heck they wanted. At the end of the day, these guys got to get coached up, and they know the defense. You got to do good. You got to do good. You got to be better. You got to be better. Scott Blake says, "Yo, Rico, most of it, to be honest, is Frazier's soft ass zone, playing early 2000 defense." Well, and here's the thing with I was thinking about this, right? And I got to watch my time here. When I'm looking at what Frazier was able to do, sometimes he has to change things up. You have to almost because of personnel, there's things you want to do, but you can't do. So you have to kind of play it this way because of this guy's strength is not here. So I have to do this to play him to his strengths, but it's not good for the overall defense. I'll give you an example. I was just on Twitter today, and Hassan Reddick in the Super Bowl right now. He's been great. He was amazing. But Hassan Reddick got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. And Vance Joseph, one of my man Kevin loves Vance Joseph, by the way. I'm totally kidding. He hates Vance Joseph. Anyways, Vance Joseph had Hassan Reddick playing middle linebacker, which is he's out of position. That's not where he's supposed to play. He's better as a strong side on the other side. But anyway, let me get to my point here. So he had Hassan Reddick playing inside. He had Chandler Jones playing outside. And then he had Terrell Suggs on the squad, right? So, and Buda Baker, I guess, saw film, and somebody was like, listen, the only reason that Hassan Reddick wasn't used properly was because of Vance Joseph, right? And then somebody broke the film down, and Buda Baker, the safety for the Cardinals, was like, see, if you watch film, you would understand what the hell was going on. So really what was going on is Chandler Jones should be on the line, rushing. But because of the defense they were playing, they had him on the edge in coverage often. This is where Hassan Reddick should have been. But if you put Hassan Reddick there, then Chandler Jones has to be switched position. And then Terrell Suggs becomes, where do you put Terrell Suggs? So it's about moving pieces. And they needed to keep Terrell Suggs where he was because it's stronger there. And then they decided to put Hassan here so we can put Chandler here. And it's about moving pieces. So Vance Joseph he had to stay with that defense because of the personnel that he had. I had no choice, because if I move things around, it's a disaster. Because having Terrell Suggs in coverage, can't do it. You just can't do it. It's awful. So I go back to Frazier, and I'm not making excuses for Frazier. It's just that maybe he had to play the type of defenses he did because of the personnel that we had. Trey White is not the same player. He's not. He wasn't. He's coming off of injury. So can you play straight up man and let him go? He'll get torched. He was getting torched left, right, center. They went at Trey White. And then you got Dane Jackson. That's a better zone player than he's a man. So he's got to play in that position. So, and then we got the question mark of the year. why we didn't get Kyrie Elam playing more often, especially because he's more of a man type player. It's just a whole bunch of moving damn pieces, right? And to me, that's a lot of, as a defensive coordinator, you got to put your guys in the best position and what they do best. And maybe that's the where he, you know, say where he had some challenges. Now, am I stretching? Am I reaching? Maybe, but because what I saw today gave me a better perspective of like what these defensive coaches got to do. Because sometimes you gotta, there's certain things that players do well, they don't do well, and you gotta do your best to kind of put them in best position. Is it good for the long scheme of things? Maybe not, but right now, this is the best player I need right here because this is what he does best. But anyway, that's a whole nother ballgame. You got me jumping into a whole sheet of things. But at the end of the day, to me, this DB room riddled with injuries, but I can't give you any better than that, man. So C is the grade for me when it comes to the DB position. Special teams. Let's get right to special teams. Special teams, B plus, man. To me, I look at it as B plus. Tyler always is solid. Sam Martin did a really good job coming in, obviously, with that fiasco we had with the punt god. And Sam did really well. I'd like to see Sam back, actually. And I look forward to seeing more of Naeem Hines returning the football, because we got a glimpse of it in later in the year when he takes off two punt returns against the Patriots. But I'd like to see more. I want to see way more out of this special team. So to me, B plus for the special teams. And I look forward to it. I want to see more Hines. We made that trade. That was a great trade that we got. I would like to see more utilization of Hines in the offense. But for the most part, special teams was solid. Reed Ferguson handling business. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Reed and the whole special team squad. They didn't let us down this year. So they did really well. We didn't have shank punts left, right, center when we had freaking Matt Hawk. Holy jumpers, man. What a disaster that was. So we brought in a better punter and we didn't have any of those issues. So to me, B plus, Tyler Bass, Sam Martin, and Naeem Hines. I think they masked a lot of our issues, right? Instead of having somebody random returning the football, we had one specific guy doing both punt return and kick return, and that's a peace of mind. So B plus for me for special teams, solid. Last group, coaching. What are you grading the coaches? I'm talking about special teams coach. I'm talking about the receiver coach. I'm talking about head coach, defensive coach, offensive coordinator. And don't just be straight. And don't look at just the last game that we played, right? Don't look at that. Because if you look at that, drop an F bomb on that. But look at the whole year from how we started, how we were playing with a healthy squad till right now. So how did you grade this team? How did you grade this coaching staff? Yo, y'all are harsh, man. I see a whole bunch of I see a Z. It's so bad that my man said Z. Kim Betts says a B. Jermaine, C minus. Ronald Wrigley says use Hines for kick returns, then let him rot on the bench. I know. That's personnel, man. A lot of it has to do with that, man. But overall, what do you see? Oh, the whole year. I'm not talking about just the Bengals game in the playoffs. I'm talking about the whole year. Here's the way I look at it. I look at the whole year and how we looked healthy. How we looked healthy. We were praising Dorsey. We were praising Frazier. We were praising McDermott. Going for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Holy crap, he's going for it. Wow, this is a different type of McDermott. We were loving him. And then some injuries happen. And then we got to switch things up. And injuries happen everywhere around the league, right? But I can't let you guys say a D for this team. This team went 13 and 3, despite the injuries to key players. 13 and 3. So I can't give him a D. So to me, my grade was a C plus. I gave him a C plus on this year because they had to deal with the injuries. We had to deal with it, and we had to. You know what I mean? Brandon Beane's part of that too, right? He had to make some trades along the way, bring some guys to the squad. And, you know what I'm saying? We brought in Cole Beasley and John Brown. We made some efforts to try to do some things. We brought in Xavier Rhodes. That was awful, you know what I'm saying? But we tried to do some things. And it just didn't work out. So to me, I'm looking at I'm looking at C plus on this year. And the injuries had a lot to do with it. And in the playoffs, obviously that plays a part in it. And we did not prepare well enough in the playoffs. We didn't. And that's what dropped this grade heavily. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, injuries aside, we were damn good. Good as a lot of trust. And the injuries just really killed it. Pierre Kingpin comes in and says, I'm giving them a B minus. We dominated early. See, he catches what I'm saying. I didn't even see what he wrote. We dominated early, found ways to win close gas games when we weren't playing our best. Those wins we can fall back on. That's a great point. We can't win unless it's a freaking blowout. And then we started showing you, you know what I'm saying, we can win some close ones. Sometimes it's the right play call. I'll give you the prime example, right? We're down to the Detroit Lions. We're losing, right? If not for coaching, we lose this game. What are you talking about, Rico? Well, I'll tell you, right? Josh Allen even said it. We were on the plane. Dorsey comes up and says, yo, this is the play that I created this play right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. And if he's here, you got to hit that. And that. What does he do? That very same thing that Dorsey and him were talking about, they executed that in the game, which actually ended up getting us the win in that game. That's coaching. So you can't tell me that these close games that we won that had nothing to do with coaching, because it did. In that instant, I just gave you an example. So to me, I can't see here, F, Z, you're just being emotional. Stop being emotional and just look at it in the totality. To me, it's a C plus. I'm still sticking to my grade. It's a C plus. I just can't sit here and grade them that way. I just can't. So that's the grade for this whole squad. I mean, I'm gonna go through some awards. I'm looking at my time here because I got to go to work. So to me, that's the way I look at it. And overall, to me, this whole year, all positions, coaches included, it's a big B. It's a B. B minus to a B. And the B minus, I'm gonna step into B minus is just the way we end the season. We just can't, man. Like, we're a good team. This is a damn good team. I don't want to sit here and act like it's not a good team. It's a freaking good team. But we just felt we just we fell apart. We fell apart coaching wise. We fell apart. I mean, emotionally, we just didn't have the juice. We had no juice. We had no Tupac in us. We had no Omar Epps in us, man. You know what I'm saying? We just we lost it. We lost it. That's just what it is, man. So no juice. We got no juice. And then it showed against the Dolphins, and it showed up against the freaking the Bengals. So big off season coming. Now, the grades are out. The awards are next. And when it comes to the awards, I'll get right to it. MVP of the year, Josh Allen. There's no question about it. Josh Allen is that dude. Josh Allen has been that dude, and he will continue to be that dude for a long time. He is our franchise. Our franchise goes absolutely nowhere without Josh Allen. He is our MVP. No question about it. There's no way around it. That's just what it is. 100% Josh Allen is our guy. Now, runner up. If it's not Josh Allen, who is our runner up? Talk to me. I'd love to know how you guys feel about the runner-up MVP of this team. You can't give it to Von Miller. Hurt. Can you give it to Matt Milano? Can't. I don't know if I can. To me, I'm going absolutely to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs becomes my MVP. If it's not Josh Allen, it's Stephon Diggs. Matt Milano is a close one, but to me, underneath it is Diggs. Diggs is it, you guys have no idea how good Stephon Diggs is. He is that good. He's consistent. You can count on him all day, every day. Like, he doesn't make mistakes. He's that dude, man. He's that guy. And when you need a play, Stephon Diggs, not only does he do what he's supposed to do on the field, but he does it on the sideline, man. You see him getting after guys and making sure everything is good to go. Matt Milano, legit. Don't get me wrong. Matt Milano, I love Matt Milano. I'm a big fan. But I runner-up MVP is my guy, Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? My man said, yo, what do you mean? He's first team All-Pro Milano. Literally the best player this year. Well, listen, MVP goes to Josh Allen. I'm sorry. There's no way around it. My man, PVC fan, what's up, man? He goes, these DBs covered well more than you think, but none of them looked back for the ball. And 50-50 balls turned into 30-yard, 70-yard receivers. That's coaching. A lot of times that you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. There's 50-50 balls. If you just turn your head, Dane Jackson, you're there. So they're there. It's just listen, man, it's coaching. But here's the thing though. They fired Salgado. And Salgado was the DB coach, more specifically the safety coach. They said, you gotta go. So they scapegoated his ass in regards to how this all plays out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I get what you're saying, PVC. I do. I get what you're saying. So let's go. MVP, Josh Allen. Defensive MVP, clear as day, Matt Milano. Matt Milano turned in a fantastic season. All-pro Matt Milano was at the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? All-pro. You can't ask for more. The guy was legit. Like he didn't initially make the Pro Bowl, which is a joke, but makes an All-Pro. Go figure, right? How ridiculous is that? Anyway, defensive MVP, Matt Milano. If you were to give out, and this is where you guys have to get in there because I'm going to go quick with these awards, all right? The Houdini Award, the Mr. Houdini Award. Now you see me, now you don't. You know what I'm saying? Who wins the Houdini Award for you? Who is it? Who stands out for you? Because I'll tell you right now, for me, the Houdini Award, Ed freaking Oliver. Ed Oliver, the Houdini. Now you see him, now you don't. We consistently, we never got a consistent Ed Oliver. Some days you show up and you're like, yo, he's undeniable. He's undeniable. You can't even miss him. He's right there. And then you don't see him. To me, Ed Oliver, Houdini Award. That's mine. I see Namdi says Gabe Davis. Kerry Cook says Naheem Hines. How can you put Naheem Hines as Houdini? That's not his fault. That's not his fault. It's coaching. You don't put him on the field. That can't be him, right? Scott Blakely says Groot. Scott, how are you going to give Groot the Houdini Award? I'm not buying that one. Nuh-uh. Ed Oliver earns that one with a big old award. Take your award, sir, and go sit down somewhere. And you might disappear by the end of the show. We never know. But to me, Ed Oliver was the Houdini Award. That's who that goes to. This is the I Got Your Back Award. I Got Your Back Award. This award goes to that dude that you can count on, that, you know what I mean? Snow, rain, you're in a fight with somebody. He's right there he's right there behind you. He's injured. He doesn't give a damn. He's playing. I'm playing because I love this team and I'm not going nowhere. Let's get this thing popping. Who is the I Got Your Back Award? To me, that's Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer has had this team's back for years. And this year was it stood out the most because he's playing it in a last year of his deal. He wants a contract, and he gets the big time agent to come through and get him his contract. And he's sitting here without a contract. And he played the whole year, getting hurt, because that's what people try to avoid. If I'm going to play, I need my monies. I need my guarantees. I need my monies. And if you don't want to give my money, I'm not playing. I'm going to hold out, because if I get hurt, y'all ain't going to pay me. So what does Bean do? Bean's like, you know what? Chances are I'm not bringing your ass back. And I'm sure he didn't say that to him, but I'm going to give you a little something. So he gave him a little boost in money. He's like, yo, here, I'll give this to you as a show of respect, but you got to play. Hurt or not, you got to come in and play. And guess what? He did all the way through. Elbow jacked up, knee jacked up, concussed. You know what I'm saying? You name it. He played. He took some time off. I think what 13-1 when he plays with us. So shout out to my man, Jordan Poyer. Jordan Poyer he's got everybody's back. He's got all of Buffalo's back, no doubt. Do we bring him back? Listen, I'm gonna put it this way, man. I've accepted that he's leaving. And the minute I accepted he's leaving was when we didn't give him a contract. When he brought in the big dog in Rosenhaus and we still didn't budge. I say he ain't coming back. That's it. It's a wrap. So Poyer's gone. He's as good as gone. If he comes back, cool. But let's not forget. Let's look at the real picture here. He's 31. He's going to be 32. So not that he can't ball, because he can, but we got the best of Jordan Poyer, in my opinion. Is he going to be great wherever he goes? I'm sure he will. But we got the ultimate best of Jordan Poyer, and he's going to kill it wherever he goes. But it's time to elevate young bucks to come out and play. You give him another, you know what I mean, another contract. I'm just saying, man. Let that be somebody else's. I don't want to say issue because it's not going to be issue. It's going to be their gain. But let him go elsewhere, and then we can kind of groom and go elsewhere and look for it. Maybe we can draft a big time safety, or we bring in a safety that's in free agency that, or we trade for one. Who knows? Point is, Micah Hyde's coming back, and Christian Benford is gonna be right under that. And he's got great size. He's got great vision when it comes to, I mean, it being in zone. So it might be that may be the perfect scenario that we have. So to me, I got your back award, Jordan Poyer, no doubt about it. Mr. Consistency. Who would you give the award to for Mr. Consistency? Day in, day out, he's gonna give you consistent work no matter what. I'm gonna get right to it, man. Actually, I'm gonna let you see. I want to see what you guys think. Mr. Consistency. This player, you'd always count on this player. He's always gonna come through. There's no question about it. He doesn't waver. You know what I'm saying? And you need a play from this person. You need him to be clutch in this situation. You go to this guy. Who is your Mr. Consistency? And I'm looking at some names here. I see Tyler Bass. I see, you know what I'm saying, Edmonds, Tyler Bass. Runner up is Diggs. Runner up is definitely Diggs, first of all. Tyler Bass. Here's the thing. I see you guys are taking away. You guys are taking a lot away from me. So it is Tyler Bass. Tyler Bass is Mr. Consistency. He'll come in. It's rain. It's windy. It's snowing. He's there for you. You want points on the board? I mean, the guy had the most points like in Bills history, didn't he not? Last year, putting points up like crazy, right? So shout out to Mr. Consistency, Tyler Bass. Runner up, because I had a tough time with this one. Runner up, Devin Singletary. You need that tough yardage. Devin Singletary's there to get it. You know what I'm saying? I remember Devin Singletary was clutch in the Houston Texans playoff game. Josh Allen's rolling out, and I saw Devin Singletary catch that football and make that first down. I was like, oh, that's craziness. And he's been consistent ever since he got in his workout program, put a little weight on. You can count on him to run between the tackles. You can tell he spent a lot of time with Frank Gore because he had a bit of Frank Gore in him in getting the tough yardage. So I got to give it up, man, to Devin Singletary as Mr. Consistency. The guy's legit. He's legit. And you know what? Runner-up can also go to Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse looks great too. I mean, we can always count on Mitch Morse. Those concussions kind of are a little worrisome, but Mr. Consistent, definitely, he's definitely up there. All right. My mixed feelings award. I got mixed feelings about this player. So some days I'm high on this player, and some days I just want to trash this player because I'm done with this player. But I love him at the same time, and I praise him. So it's like hot and cold, right? This is the mixed feelings. Who is it on this team that you just have mixed feelings where you're high on this guy a lot, and then you're like, oh, damn it, man, I'm out. I can't do it. Who's your mixed feelings? Kerry Cooks and Spencer Brown. Ooh, that's interesting with the Spencer Brown part. Spencer Brown, Gabe Davis is the mixed feelings. He's definitely up there for sure. McDermott, that's interesting. McDermott could be one of them. Gabe Davis, I see Gabe Davis in there. Poyer has to be number 2 defensive MVP. Could. Edmonds, I like it. Gabe, I see McKenzie's in there. Listen, man, for me, it's Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White for me, man. And I know people are gonna say that's not fair, man. He got hurt and he's coming back from it. I'm like, but this was prior to. There were some games where I'm like, man, I love Trey White, man. That's my guy. And you're like, yo, Trey, what is going on, fam? How'd you get beat there? And last year, it's tough because you're putting. He's coming back from injury, so it's tough. But I feel the way I feel. And the reason I put him there is because I don't know what I'm going to be getting next year with him. Is he going to give me the same? Is he ever going to return back to the same all-pro Trey White? We don't know. And what I saw in this in this uh in this last 7-8 games that he played, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I'm not going to front. I didn't like it. And you guys can get on me all you want about, well, he was injured, he was this, that, and the third. I got mixed feelings. Like I said, there's moments where I love the heck out of him, and I'm like, oh, get him off the field, right? And a lot of times we were saying, the amount of times I saw someone say, yo, get him off the field, please. Put somebody else on there because right now he's being lit up and they're getting after his ass. And I can tell you that right now. And if you want to go prior to the injury, big receivers, he doesn't do well against big receivers. I'm not saying he shrinks, right? But they overpower him. Big receivers, he does not do well with big receivers. So that's why we got a guy like Kyer Elam at 6'1". You know what I'm saying? 200 pounds that can deal with the bigger boys, right? That can run alongside with them. To me, mixed feelings, Trey White. I'm sorry, man. And I don't know if he's going to return to form next year. And that's the reason I grabbed him, because will he return to form next year? Because if he doesn't, that is a big problem. That is a big problem. And will we have to address cornerback again? Will we have to address cornerback again? We'll see. We'll follow what Bean does in free agency, and we'll follow from there. Here we go. Fan favorite award. Who are you giving the fan favorite to? To me, the fan favorite has always been between McKenzie, Deion Dawkins, and I think I'm going to have to give the fan favorite to Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins is forever going to be a fan favorite. Now, I could easily give it to Josh Allen because everybody loves Josh Allen, but Deion Dawkins is just a man of the people. He's the man of the people. They love him. Anywhere Deion Dawkins goes, he's the life of the party. I mean, when you guys are watching these guys sing in the locker room, who's leading the way most times? Is Deion Dawkins, and right next to Deion Dawkins is Isaiah McKenzie. You know what I'm saying? So to me, those are your, you know what I'm saying, fan favorite is Deion Dawkins, no question about it. And a lot of people are going to say, somebody put Michael, what'd you put? Was it Michael I saw? Somebody, I'm going to try to find whoever put that in there, which is interesting. There he goes. Michael Warfield says Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin's not a fan favorite. Let's cut the BS, right? Unfortunately, he was put in a position where we felt for him. Our heart felt feelings for him, but he was never a fan favorite. The fan favorite is the one that can galvanize everybody and say, yo, he's the man of the people. That's Deion Dawkins. There's no questions about it. No question about it. I can't even, we're not even talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Runner up, Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie, no question about it. All right. Here's one for you. Makes me punch a hole in the wall award. This player makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. Who is it for you? that one player that he may do one thing in a game that says, oh, is that him? Oh, it is him. Last year, it was Jerry Hughes for me. Jerry Hughes made me want to punch a hole in the wall often. Why? Because he would do this. He would do a bozo play that would cost us a penalty. And I'm like, why would you do that? That was me for him last year. So Scott Blakely says Dane Jackson. Yo, Dane Jackson is a good one. I'm not going to lie, because I had somebody else in mind. Dane Jackson is a very good one. I see a lot of Dane Jacksons. Dane, make you want to punch a hole in the wall. Well, the punch a hole in the wall for me, and I'll give you some runner-ups because we got some good ones, right? But for me, it's Spencer Brown. That mother, he makes. Even when I think about it, I want to punch a hole in the wall right now. Spencer Brown would have moments where you see him go in the run, and he'd plow a little DB, or you know what I'm saying, he put a nice block to seal a run, and then you see him whiff horribly on a pass protection. I saw one time he whiffed so bad I saw him right on his belly. He was on his belly looking back to seeing what the play. I hated it. That brother makes me want to punch a hole in the wall often. You know what I'm saying? Now, are there other people that are worthy of this award? Of course. You know what I'm saying? Dane Jackson, definitely one of them. When you see Dane Jackson, oh God, you got to be kidding me. Dane, come on, Dane. That does happen. It does happen. I'll tell you right now. But for me, punch a hole in the wall award, that definitely goes to Spencer Brown for me. That's the way I look at it. And I'm looking at some of the people you guys say. Some people say Roger Saffold. Roger Saffold had his moments, that's for sure. Cam Lewis wanted to make me punch a hole in the wall. Hard body, man. Bat the ball down, mother effer. Like, come on, son. You gotta bat that thing down. So punch a hole in the wall. Yo, Gabe Davis too, man. Gabe Davis had some moments where, brother, catch that football. Because you're ready to excite. You're excited. You jump up and be like, yes. You're already with fist balled up because you're so excited. And then you hear a drop. Your fists are still balled up. And if you're close enough to a wall, there goes the hole. Gabe Davis makes you want to punch a hole in the wall sometimes too. But to me, the guy that makes me want to punch a hole is Spencer Brown. I don't care. Spencer Brown is the guy that makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. And we need to address that ASAP, please. And you got to address the DB position ASAP as well with Dane Jackson. Because that brother wanted me, he made me want to punch a hole in the wall multiple times. Just saying. Anyway, let's move on to the next award. If you guys are appreciating and enjoying this award ceremony, smash that like for your boy. Let's get this to 250 likes. Let's get it to 250 likes and let's keep it popping because it's the off season. Everyone knows the off season. That's just what it is, right? Let's keep it moving, right? Worst moment of the season, not the Bills, not the Bengals game. Obviously, we know what happened in that Bengals game. And I'm talking about both Bengals game. Immediately, not the Hamlin game, and not the obviously the playoff game. What's the worst moment of the season for you guys? To me, I got two, but one that stands out to me a lot is it's the freaking Jefferson catching that ball on 4th and 18, something stupid where we bat the ball down and we literally win that game. There were many moments in that game. That Vikings game altogether. The Vikings game, right? That game, the fumble on the 1 yard line, cut it out. Seriously, the freaking bat down, stop. 2-point convert, like, dude, like there were so many moments in that game where you're like, come on, man, like we got to be kidding me. So yeah, honestly, that Vikings game, terrible. That's a worst moment for sure. Here's one for you. I got this one given to me, the 2 left feet award. And this award goes to that player that you always see on his ass. Just on his ass, just on the floor, can't get out of just on his ass all. Like, who is that 2 left feet award? I'm going to tell you right now. It's Ed Oliver. If you pay attention to Ed Oliver, at times, this brother is on the floor often. I mean, listen, brother, get out of that 3-point stance and get after it. This guy just around the corner trying to get the quarterback on the floor. You know what I mean? Always on the floor. So to me, 2 left feet award, Ed Oliver for me. Some people might say Spencer Brown or Roger Saffold, right? But those are the guys that stand out to me in terms of the 2 left feet award. Least valuable player. So obviously this person is on the team, but this person brings no value. Who is that person on the team that's on this team on a prominent in a role? They play the person plays a role, but just not valuable. Just you don't bring any value to the team. Who is it? And this was given to me. So and the answer, and this is not my answer, but I kind of rock with it. So Spencer Brown was the answer. I see Mackenzie as an answer. I see Tommy Sweeney, Cam Lewis as an answer. The least valuable player is Jay Kumro. Jay Kumro only because this brother sat on the sideline. We kept him on the roster and allowed Isaiah Hodgins to walk. So that played a big part in him being least valuable. And it's still hard to look at now because you're like, dude, we could have had, especially because we had some inconsistencies at the position. It would have been nice to have, you know what I'm saying, a guy that can rock out and actually do something for us on the offensive side of the ball. But no, we chose to keep Jay Kumro. And Jay Kumro didn't get on the field. He was sidelined. So it's kind of tough. It kind of hurts. It kind of hurts. But that was the opinion of my man Bobby came in and gave me that one. That's a good one there. Um, let me give you another one here. I'm just going through because I had a whole bunch, so I just want to put that in there. Um, see mixed feelings. We got that one out of the way. Makes you want to punch a hole in the wall. The jersey you'd buy next. If they said, here you go, you get to buy this jersey of this player next year because you feel this player is going to take the next leap. Whose jersey is it you're buying? Are you going back to 17? Josh Allen? Is it James Cook? Is it Stephon Diggs? Is it Mitch Morse? Is it Greg Rousseau? Is it Daquan Jones? Is it Kyer Elam? Christian Benford? Are you going to go Micah Hyde? Tyler Bass? Reed Ferguson? Right? Naeem Hines? Who do you guys like? Isaiah McKenzie? Is he coming back? Who's that jersey? Oh, that's a good one. Matt Milano. Matt Milano's good one. Greg Rousseau. Teron Johnson. I like it. I like it. James Cook. Shaq Lawson. Shaq Lawson is an interesting one. That would be a good one to get. Shakir. Khalil Shakir. I like that. I like it a lot. So here we go. Underrated. Jordan Phillips. I saw that. Let me keep going. Most improved player. This one's a good one. Most improved player. Who did you guys feel that, based from last year to this year, or maybe the last few years to this year, they made a huge improvement? That you're like, okay, I can see it. I can see the jump from this player. He definitely improved. Who is your most improved player? I'm looking at the chat right now. Matt Milano is the most improved to me. He got defensive MVP. So, and he was on his way. I see Russo, James Cook as the most improved player. That's interesting. Edmonds, Milano, Kyer Elam. Oh, that's the jersey you want to buy. Kyer Elam, but that'd be a good one. Kyer Elam, I hope he steps up big time. Most improved, Knox. That goes to Dawson Knox. That's a really good one. Patrick, that's a great choice. Because I put most improved because I didn't put a player. I wasn't sure who I was going to grab, so I was hoping you guys can help me. Greg Rousseau, Quentin Morris, definitely improved. I wouldn't call him he was the most improved, but we did see some good things for Quentin Morris. So to me, based on what I've seen from you guys, honestly, it's between Greg Rousseau, because I think he stepped up big. He proved very much so. But I would also, who else is in there? Devin Singletary, not bad. Gabe Davis definitely improved. He got better. He had some inconsistencies though, so I can't put him on there. I like Dawson Knox. As one of them, as one of the most improved players. I think that he stepped his game up. Obviously, there were some things that stood out. With him in the red zone. Red zone, he was great. So that was huge because we needed more in the red zone. We needed more because you know who it's going to go to. So we need somebody else to step their game up, and he did that. Excellent job, Dawson Knox for sure. Out of our rookies, who would you say is the rookie of the year? Kyer Elam? Is it James Cook? Who is our rookie of the year? I'm very interested in who you guys think that got rookie of the year. Talk to me. Balen Spector, Christian Benford? Could it be those guys? Was it Khalil Shakir? Would you give him rookie of the year? Who was your rookie of the year? Was it Cook? Was it Terrell Bernard? Was it between James Cook? Was it Kyer Elam? Who was our rookie of the year? Let's look at it. I'm talking about from the start of the season right to the end. Who did you feel took that leap to say, you know what, you deserve our rookie of the year? Because Kyer Elam had some good moments, man. He had some clutch interceptions. He had some clutch moments. James Cook had some really good moments as well. Khalil Shakir, not enough to me to warrant that nomination. So it's going to be between Cook and Elam. Benford got injured. He looked good though because he took some snaps away from Kyer Elam. So to me, rookie of the year, I got to give it to Elam. Only because I see he's our first round draft pick, and I see big things happening. And the coaches could not get out of their own damn way. They couldn't get out of their own way, and it's a close one. But I'm gonna give Elam that because he had that clutch interception in that Dolphins game that got us right back into it. Because momentum was not looking good for us. Momentum was not looking good for us until Elam made that freaking catch, interception, and then he sealed the game with that batted ball down on the sideline versus Gesicki. Give me Elam for the rookie of the year. Rookie of the year goes to Elam. I got a few more awards, and then we out of here. Um, next year's sleeper award. Next year's sleeper award. Who is it that we are sleeping on now that's gonna wake up and just kill the game? Who is the next year's sleeper award? Who are you giving that to? Sleeper award goes to who? I didn't put anybody in there. I didn't put anybody. Who is this next year's sleeper award? Gabe Davis. You feel like Gabe Davis is the one that's going to step up? Interesting. He could. Going into his fourth year, he says, enough's enough, man. I got to really step up. People they clowned me. They said my hands were garbage. They said I'm not consistent enough. I got to step my game up. I don't want people to sleep on me no more. But you know what? People aren't sleeping on him. So I can't put him in there. Beasley? Do you think we sign Beasley again and he comes in and steps up and has a huge year? Don't sleep on Beasley? Does Beasley come back? Is it Khalil Shakir? Does Khalil Shakir do it? What if we don't sign Tremaine Edmonds and we let him walk and Balin Spector comes in and is absolutely a menace? Or Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard is that dude. Who knows? Now I'm stretching, right? I'm really stretching for it. Christian Benford goes to safety, and all of a sudden he's gonna be a problem. Who could be the sleeper? There's so many positions you go with. Sleeper award. Is it Boogie Basham? Comes in and does work. I kind of like Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir looks great, but or James Cook comes in and steps up. That's a huge one. That one I don't know. I have no idea who's gonna step up. But I'm gonna say this, man. Next year's sleeper award, whoever it is, I hope it's so undeniable and that they help us get over the hump in winning this game and winning the whole situation. We just need that. We just need that. So sleeper award, I'll give it to a real sleeper. If we don't bring back Edmonds, Terrell Bernard steps up. He's a sleeper. Don't sleep on Terrell Bernard. Maybe he comes in and he's that guy. We'll see. I'm really stretching here. We'll see. I got two more that I got to do before I get out of here. And I'm looking for it. I'm scrolling through my phone right now. Okay, there it is. Looking forward to next year. Future's bright. The Future's Bright Award. The Looking Forward to Next Year Award. I'm going to get right to it. I am absolutely a big fan, and I need this person back next year, and that's DaQuan Jones. DaQuan Jones was a difference maker. He is a difference maker. You bring that brother back, and you put him right smack dab in that middle of that defense, he stops a lot. He prevents a lot, and he eats up the double teams, and he's strong in the middle. I'm looking forward to it. Future's bright. When you bring this guy back and it makes everyone elevate their game, especially with Von Miller coming back, I like DaQuan Jones. DaQuan Jones coming back, I'm a big fan. Let's bring that brother back, man, because I'm a fan. DaQuan Jones, great signing. I'm cool with that. All right. Last but not least, the Con Man Award. I don't got to explain it to you. What does a con man do? Con man makes you believe something and then doesn't follow through. You know what I'm saying? Liar or whatever you want to call him. Just conned you, made you feel some type of way, and just not that guy. Who is the con? Right? Projected to be something and then did not come through. Con Man Award. Who's the con man? Well, it won't matter what you guys write because I already have this one written down in capital letters. Con Man Award goes to the whole freaking front office. The whole front office cons. Why? You might be like, what? What are you talking about? I'll tell you why. Because we had a 13-3 record all year. We were going for it on fourth down. We're making big stops. We're making big plays. We battled adversity, right? We did all these things just to fall flat on our faces in the playoffs. Con McDermott, con Dorsey, con Frazier, con Bean, con everybody. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, we cons. A bunch of cons, man. We made it look like we got it. We got it together. And then we fall apart in the playoffs. Fall apart. Con Man Award, the whole freaking coaching staff and front office. Con Man. I'm putting Bean in there because, you know what I mean? Part of this is your fault because of the personnel you gave us. Maybe the personnel didn't quite work out. But Aaron Cromer, you're part of that. The whole coaching staff. Cons. Now, am I feelings? Yes. Am I still pissed off about the loss? Yes. Am I over it? Of course. Am I still pissed? Yes. Con Man Award, the whole coaching staff. Don't con us. Don't give us the thought that we're gonna be better and we're gonna do good things and we're this is the difference. We're gonna championship caliber, and then we pull that stunt. No. Yeah, they bamboozled us. They tricked us. You know what I'm saying? We were led astray. So I'm raining down on these cats, man. McDermott, you fall on that sword. That's on you, con man. I need you to not con us next year. Give us the goods and be consistent. Whatever you did in the damn the preseason leading up into the into the season, stick to it. You know what I'm saying? If you're aggressive, be aggressive. Don't all of a sudden be aggressive all year and then you fall back. And you just waiting for them to come at us. Nah, man. Like we yo, you conned us, bro. We ain't falling for that shit. Cut it out. Cut it out, man. The coach is a whole bunch of politicians. Yeah. You know what I mean? You were politicking all year long. And then when it came down to deliver, nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Con. Anyway, I'm done. Folks, I hope you guys enjoy the show. For those listening on podcast form, Apple, Google, you name it, appreciate y'all tuning in. This is it, man. The offseason has officially begun. We're going to start kind of fixing our schedule. Once a week, we'll each be going once a week. Sometimes we might get a joint podcast with me, Rev, and Bot. But it's the offseason, man. We don't want to regurgitate the same crap that you're hearing all over the place. But we also understand the I guess the love that you guys have for getting Bills content. No matter how it comes, you want the content. I get it. So we will definitely give you the content. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to go hard this freaking offseason. And I'm gonna go back to trying to get player interviews and doing all that shit. So be on the lookout. I'm not getting into draft talk yet. Way too early. Free agency is where it's at. Super Bowl is just this weekend. So it's gonna be a long offseason, folks. So stick with us. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. Don't be shy. Get that notification bell going, and we will be back at it again. He says, Sam's like, yo, you're gonna look older 6 months from now. Maybe I'll have a few more grays. Actually, I have no grays yet. Knock on wood, no grays yet. I have one. Actually, that's a lie. I'm capping. I have one gray that keeps appearing, and the wife was like, no, leave it. I was like, man, get that shit out of here, man. We ain't ready for that. We ain't ready for the grays yet. I have one here, but one just keeps coming in the same spot. I'm like, nope, not today. Not today, Satan. You're not getting me now. Anyway, so that's it, folks. So obviously we got some content for you coming this off season. We'll have some shows. POP is coming back. You know what I'm saying? Process or problem. We're gonna go through the roster and figure some things out. The draft is going to be a couple months from now, and free agency is around the corner. So let's be ready for it, man. It's going to be a long off season. Stay with us, and we'll get you through it. We're going to go through some contract talks. Who can we next show? I think I'm going to go through contracts. Who can restructure? Who can a whole bunch of things. How do we get under the cap? We'll talk about that. And last but not least, the app is coming back, baby. If you guys are not remember what I'm talking about, the BF Network app is coming back. We'll be able to give you everything you need. From restructures, you guys become the GM. I don't got to tell you about that. It's all good. Anyway, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, hit me up. Twitter, Rico_BF_. It is what it is, man. If you guys appreciate the show, smash that like one more last time. You got me not speaking English correctly. If you guys appreciate the show and appreciate the content and what BF does and what all Bills content creators do, smash that like. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot more collaborations this offseason. So your favorite collaborators will get together. It's going to be fun. Stick with us. All right. So you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. I hope you guys enjoyed the award ceremony. If there are things I missed, I'm sure we'll catch them next year. All right. So you guys have yourself a fantastic evening. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. And I'm gone. Let's go.